Hi there, it's Catherine, and welcome to my weekly vlog. Wow, what a ride! Ah, um, I keep getting I keep getting error messages. I hope that you're seeing this. Let me know in the chat if you are able to see and hear me on Facebook and or YouTube. You know, it's okay. I see that there are a few of you here. Hi, Eileen. You obviously are hearing me on Facebook, or you wouldn't be responding in the chat. So thank you. Um, so wow, what a ride is all I have to say. So I'm the quick version is I f- I have lipedema and lymphedema. I flew from Boston to Charleston, South Carolina in November, and I have been sick ever since, which is November to December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. 9 months. um, some of you have heard this. Hi, Greta, Eileen. Um, so some of you have heard it, and I know I was talking about it last week because after 9 months, no, just so many medical conundrums. Now, we know that the lymphatic system is pretty much overlooked in most medical settings. But it has been quite a journey with so many tests while they say, well, no, it's not this and it's not that and it's not this and it's not that. So in May, I went to the University of Pennsylvania and was able to get a what's called an MRL, magnetic resonance. Instead of imaging, it's L for lymphangiogram. So a magnetic resonant and lymphangiogram. So they image the lymphatic system, and sure enough, I had a blockage, which was preventing the lymph flow, probably induced by taking the flights. Um, and the flights were anyway. The issue with flying is mostly the the pressure in the cabin, and it exacerbates on takeoff and landing. And I had 4 takeoff and landing on the way down and 4 on the way back. So 8. That was enough to absolutely blow out my whole circuitry. And the reason I'm talking about it is last week I started to feel better, and this week I feel so good because I honestly didn't think it was going to get any better. So my face blew up like a balloon. Um, I was having trouble breathing. I mean, serious trouble breathing and pain. Just so many things happened. And thank goodness I turned to Leslyn Keith and Kelly Bell. Some of you have seen them here. And the reason I'm sharing this is that the National Lymphedema Network is hosting a um, conference in Philadelphia the first week in October. and we've all been invited to speak there. So in May, I went for the MRL and ended up having surgery. It worked, it helped, and then it got worse again. And I thought that I was a goner. They were suggesting another surgery. So I'm like, yeah, do whatever you need to get this better. But they couldn't give me a surgical date. They were like, well, so this was in May. So this was in April. And they're like, well, October maybe. And I'm like, oh no, that's just not okay. I can't make it that long. So it must have April, May. Maybe it was May. No, wait. The surgery was in May. I was okay until June ish, June, July ish. So yeah, it must have been the end of June, beginning of July. So I, the reason I'm going through this is because I want to emphasize again and again and again that you need to listen to yourself. You need to listen to your body. If you get quiet enough, your body is always communicating, always communicating. And that was my big aha. And I may be repeating this because, quite frankly, I mean, I know talked about it some last week, but boy, I'm blown away by the difference in that I found something called the Perrin technique by an osteopath in the UK. Um, and I'm telling you some of this because these folks are showing up and are speaking at our conference in October. Um, so Dr. Perrin is coming, and we are also going to have. I went to UPenn 2 weeks ago and saw Dr. Zhang. She's also going to be there. She's a physiatrist, which is a specialist in rehab medicine with a specialty in lymphology. She has mostly cancer patients, but she saw me, and mine wasn't cancer, but I had all of the lymphatic stuff. So, all right, I'm a storyteller. And so I keep saying that whenever I give a webinar. The bottom line is I feel so freaking good. It's like after thinking that, I got my last will and testament in order. I made sure everything was, like they say, get your affairs in order. I am like, ah. And then I was like, oh, hi, Pamela. Good to see you. And so through all of this, I have been not at my best, let's say. Definitely not at my best. And one of the things that happens is stuff accumulates. I don't know about you, but I'm convinced that clutter has babies and baby clutter. So there was all this clutter because, I have someone who comes and helps me clean my house. She's wonderful, but this isn't stuff that someone else can do. This is me creating clutter because I just don't haven't had the bandwidth. So the reason I'm telling you all this is that Celicia, my wonderful, wonderful helper, she came and we spent 6.5 hours today cleaning closets, getting rid of clutter. Um, there's a there's a lot. I'm afraid there's a lot to go. But number one, I felt better. Number two, I had the stamina because even though she was helping, and she did a lot of the actual moving things from here to there and out in the trash and in the recycle bin and giveaway and all of the different categories. It was more than I've done in months, and it feels so good. Oh my god, it feels so good. And so, hi, Cindy. Um, and one of the issues with the clogged lymphatic system was the brain fog, that it would be challenging. That's one of the reasons why I say I may be repeating some things that I said last week because I've had some memory disconnects, though I think I'm getting better. So, one of the reasons that I spent today, well, first of all, it's a long weekend here in the US. It's Labor Day weekend, and Celicia made plans to come and spend, a good portion of the day with me. I still have tomorrow, which is good because I have some work to do. Hi, Julie. So glad that you're here. Um, so I have stuff to do tomorrow, but the peace, and it's one of the reasons that I declutter because the clutter that's out here is nothing more than a representation of the clutter that's in my mind. And when I start gaining clarity, I find that I um I naturally want to declutter. And then the more that there's decluttering and I start feeling spaciousness, the more the creativity in my mind starts to blossom. And I begin to put the pieces together. And I begin to, the dots start connecting. And um and so wonderful. And one of the things in the midst of all of this, one of my very dearest friends is Joanna Dudek. She's done a lot of research in lipedema. She and I go back to the very beginning when she was still studying for her PhD. She's written numerous papers on lipedema, and she's taken a little bit of a break because she got married and then she had a baby. And now the baby is 15 months old. So Joanna's baby, Joanna and Rafa, Rafa is her husband, and then her baby is Lara. And oh my God, I got to connect with her. Um, when am I coming to Puerto Rico? Thanks, Eileen. That's a good question because at this point I still can't fly. So let's triage one issue at a time. Let me get well. I'm feeling so much better, but let me get well and let me test for no blockages, and then we'll look at it again. But why don't you come? Well, first of all, Eileen, I'm going to invite you personally. We have a event coming up, a symposium event. Here, let me get the where is it? Here it is. Make sure you go here. Come join us. Even though it's online, we spend a lot of time interactively and chatting with each other. And there'll be a few hundred, hopefully a few hundred people. We had almost 300 people register last time, but at any given time, there's usually 100 to 200 people, and we spend a lot of time interacting. So that's October. Oh, let me get the dates. Here it is. Heart to Heart event is October 27, 28, 29. And here is the link again. Here's the link. Oh, perfect. And if you're coming, please get your tickets this weekend. We have an early bird special, and what we have done, instead of designating a time, we designated an amount of tickets, and we've only got 3 tickets left. So we set aside a block of 100 tickets for the early bird. 3 tickets left, which is great. I'm loving that people are signing up. So come, come, Eileen. It would be wonderful to have you until the time when we can fly. I can fly again. And oh yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, and the other thing I want to make sure that I don't forget, I have to go back to the other place, is, is that Leslin is doing a webinar this week, this coming week, um, September 6th. I think that's Wednesday. This is Sunday and it's the 3rd, Monday. Yep, so it's Wednesday. Lipedema, mother of our species. So we're going to be looking at the genetics because lipedema is hereditary, but it not 100% of the time because it can skip a generation. So sometimes we don't know that our ancestors had it. But this is fascinating. This whole thing is so fascinating. So join us. I want to thank all of you who showed up today. It's a holiday weekend, and usually people on a holiday weekend don't come that much, but I'm so glad you're here. Oh, thanks, Eileen. She says, I'm sorry for your health. That's what we do. That's why we exist here. We exist here because of lipedema and lymphedema and all of the comorbidities and working together. And so I share a lot of this with all of you because we are all struggling in some way with our lymphatic disorders, but we're finding answers. And that's the thing. If the only thing that you take away from today is, where I was a few weeks ago looked really very bleak, and it's changed. It is changed. Oh, Diane, wonderful. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you at the conference as well. So, let me give you the link for Leslin's webinar, which is a free webinar. Where is it? It's right here. There you go. learn.lipedema-simplified.org/free webinar. And that will get you to sign up for Leslin's webinar on Wednesday. And if there's any way you can be there, or register because you'll get the replay. If you register, you'll also get the replay. So if you can't be there. So it is fascinating. I mean, Leslin really looks at our ancestors because the most fascinating thing is how the uh, uh, antiquity statues have the lipedema shape. It's like, really? How fascinating is that? I mean, going back even thousands of years. So it's not so new. So that this whole notion is that listening to your body, that your body's trying to support you, even with lipedema, which I think is an interesting concept. Anyway, there's so much more to talk about, but I'm already over my 15 minutes. These are supposed to be 12 to 15 minutes, and they're not. That's what it comes down to. Mostly they're not, because I'm like hitting 20 minutes today. Well, thank you, everyone. Love you. so happy to be with you and so happy to share the journey. It's really what I'm doing is just sharing the journey. A couple of comments. Thank you. Ah, Dr. Amron is your doctor. Good. You'll have to come back and let us know how your surgery went. Okay, ciao, ciao. See you